Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's Fiona Hooper here with yet another edition of the Poetry of Painting. This, believe it or not, is number 60, which amazes me, but it's been great fun doing them and I've met some wonderful people. And tonight we have one of those wonderful people on the show, Markey Mark Symmonds. So let me just bring Markey Mark onto the screen to join us.
Hi, Fiona.
Mark, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself?
Good, I'm very well, thank you. Yes, and looking forward to our show this evening, hearing your
me too.
Poem and all your news as well. So very much looking forward to that. And a bit of light relief on a bit of a grim, dismal day out there today. I don't know about where you are, but it's been wet, windy, not particularly warm, just a bit of a grey, dismal day. So we've got something to cheer us up, I think, with the painting for tonight.
Yes, it's been a typical British summer day, really, hasn't it? It's wet and
I think the April showers have got delayed, and we're now getting them in May. But
when you think we went for a spate, didn't we, where we used to always have those 2 weeks of really hot sunshine in March, and then it would rain like anything through till about the end of April. And then May it'd start picking up and you'd start getting the heat in. But again, it's changed again, and we're not getting that streak in the middle of March, and
used to get March winds, April showers. April we had virtually no rain at all, and all the plants, because it was quite mild, the plants all started growing, and then we had a really severe frost, and quite a few of them, certainly in my garden, all got frosted on the new growth, and so they've had to start over again with the growing again. So anyway, never mind, they have survived, which is the main thing. So and if anybody's watching, somebody's liking it, thank you very much for liking, and welcome to everybody who's watching, whether you're live or on replay. Do feel free to put comments and ask questions. We're here to answer them if we can, and we'd love to hear from you. So just if someone could put a comment, that'd be brilliant, because a couple of weeks ago the comments weren't working, so I'm not sure if they're working tonight or not until someone leaves me a comment. So please do, if you're watching, that'd be lovely. So tonight we've got a little bit of a sunny painting instead of the dismal weather out there today, and so I actually have it here, and I've held it here because it is quite a small painting, and it's in oils on gold leaf. So you can see the gold leaf shining through the oil paint there. Let's hold it in the right place. And it's one of those paintings that when the light catches it in different ways, it looks quite different. So that's, one of the things I really love about working on gold leaf. It's just gives some lovely effects and quite rich and just warm, lovely look to the painting. So anyway, let me put that on the screen so that people can see it in a little bit more detail. And Marky Mark, are you okay to read your poem for us now, or would you like to say anything about it first? Or
I mean, I think the fact seeing that in the gold leaf actually just enhances what the picture actually says and shows, and I think that's quite a clever thing that you've done there, because you've got this fiery picture with birds and the sea, and that just enhances it, and that's quite good, because I think I've captured some of the essence of that within my poem. So I'll read that to you now.
Lovely.
Birds scatter, bobbing, weaving, ducking, diving across fire-laden skies, like embers floating, dancing on the breeze and out the peaks of the light. No shadow they make on the waves' grey wake, as the white peaks roll and tumble across the never-ending horizon, as it joins the tussle and bustle of the luminous sky. Those black flecks that fly as far, living, breathing, flying across the oil, painting of the magnetic warmth that lies to praying eyes as cold isotherms rise from the chilled out seas that churn and churn. and the freedom of the birds dance their way high above the planet's decay, enjoying the fullness of opportunities in the day. In that longed for childish way, dancing in and out of the wind, flickering fire, the clouds that form above cold, mysterious seas, until they settle on rolling wave and sand and sandy beaches, and take to the wing again, one by one, all together, none left behind. Their movement in time so divine. And that was what I got for it.
That is lovely. I love that. And like the birds floating like embers through the sky. I mean, that just, you know, and the alliteration in some of that as well, just really, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Markey Mark. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, you know, the backdrop to it is almost of if you just take an immediate glance at it, it's almost like this fire going up into the sky with the smoke on the top of it, and those birds flying across it, and it just kind of that freedom and that nature that's captured in there. I think it is part of the magic of the picture. You know, the birds free on the wind, the nature of fire being so free and water being free, and I think that that's what really captured my imagination of it.
And also the combination of fire, air and water as well that you've managed to weave into that as well, which is brilliant. So
very much yin and yang, isn't it?
Yes.
Fire does not exist without air. Mountain does not exist without lake, etc. So it's very yin and yang.
We've got a lovely comment here from Chris. Great poem, brilliant words, and captures the spirit and soul of the painting. That's really well put, Chris. Thank you very much. Couldn't have said that better myself. So
thank you,
Markey Mark. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. Really good poem again. And hopefully you'll allow me to post that in due course on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send it through to you, and you can post away with it.
Lovely. Thank you. I want to read it now. I want to read it again.
Yes.
So,
what do you want me to do it again? Should we do it again?
Yeah. That would be lovely.
Are you ready? We'll do it again then. Okay.
Go on.
Birds scatter, bobbing, weaving, ducking and diving across fire-laden skies like embers, floating and dancing on the breeze in and out of the peaks of light. No shadow they make on the waves' grey wake as the white peaks roll and tumble across the never-ending horizon as it joins the tussle and bustle of the luminous sky. Those black flecks that fly so far, living, breathing, flying across the oil painting of magnetic warmth that lies to prying eyes as cold isotherms rise from the chilled out seas that churn and churn. The freedom of birds to dance their way high above planet's decay, enjoying the fullness of opportunities of the day, in that longed for childish way, dancing in and out of the wind and flickering fire and the clouds that form above cold mysterious seas until they settle on rolling wave or sandy beach, and take to the wing again, one by one, all together, none left behind. Their movement in time is divine.
Well worth reading again. Thank you so much. Yeah, that is gorgeous. I really do like that so much.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that came out of it for me as well was about there's a contrast in there about the fire, and then about this ice coldness that's coming off the water, and how the painting can actually deceive that, because you're not feeling the coldness, and yet there's the cold of the isotherms coming up, and as the days gradually warming the water, and so it was kind of getting that contrast in there of hot and cold, and how the eye does deceive.
Yes, absolutely. No, that's gorgeous. Thank you for reading it again for us. it definitely deserved a second reading on air. So thank you.
Thank you.
So what's going on in your poetry world at the moment, Markey Mark? Any exciting events coming up for you?
Yes, there is actually. The 25th of May at the Bonkers Playhouse in Kettering. I'm doing a 10-minute slot, open mic slot, as part of a collective show that's being put on. Casabel Ambler's organised it. She's the local part of Northampton. And there are headline poets and various open micers, etc. There, published poets, etc., and a couple of artists and some music as well. And it's £5 a ticket. I'll get the links and put them in the chat if anybody's down that way and wants to get a ticket. It's only a small theatre, so expect it might sell out. But yeah, so that's good. And I've got a couple of bits coming up in Kettering. I believe it's next month. There's a arts festival there, but again, more details as they come with times and that, which I'm going to be performing at. And then there's also, last year I performed at Art in the Park in Leamington, so I'm hoping to do that again this year. But that's it for me as far as live performances go for the moment, because I've had to really scale back on them for various reasons. So, but I'm still writing. I'm still hoping to publish a book by the end of this year, and of course I'll be in your book as well. So that'll be fantastic to have take around. So really looking forward to seeing and reading that. That'll be excellent. Yeah.
Well, that first show sounds really good as well, because it's got a mix. You know, you've got your poetry and the music and other arts and things. So, you know, something for everybody really as well. Sound like.
Yeah, that's right. It was about getting creatives together in that area. And they did one show this month. There's one in May. There's one in June, and then I'm performing again in July there. So yeah, and it looks like it you know. It's a good little venue as well. So, so really pleased about that.
Yeah. And my book is with the publisher at the moment, so I haven't got anything much to report on it this time, not on this show. But
that's Dreamwell Publishing, is it?
Yes. Yeah. So it's in progress, and just waiting now. This is the difficult bit where you sort of like want to go, come on, what's happening, how's it going? But no, let them work their magic, do the work in peace and not keep hassling. You know, nobody wants to be hassled on something like that when they're just getting on and doing the work. So I'm looking forward to hearing something back in due course, and you know, getting a proof. And I think some of the poems may be a little long for the format of the book, especially a couple of the poets. So she's going to let me know by how much they might need to be reduced for the book. But there's no point shortening them beforehand, you know, because we may take out, well, not me, you know, the poet may take out too much or not enough. So that will be happening sometime soon. So if any of my other poets are watching and you've written a very long poem, you may be getting a call to edit it down a little bit for the book. But, you know, I've asked all of the poets to give me their websites or contacts or whatever to go in with their bios at the front of the book. So if people do want to get in touch or see more of your work, then they'll still be able to do that and maybe see the full poem on there, or look on my Facebook page, where I hopefully will have posted all the poems by that point as well, so you'll be able to read the full versions on there. So yeah, that's just really exciting. So can't wait to actually get a copy and have a look at it. So yeah, so that's hopefully it'll be with me certainly by the end of July, and then it could be sooner. And then I will have it for the art fair in September. And if it's much sooner than that, it's possible you might have copies as well before then for your open mic events and things, Markey Mark.
That'd be really good. Yeah.
Would be good. Yes.
Yeah. That'd be excellent. Yeah. So that really would be something to have that people would be interested in, I think. So yeah.
It's a little bit different, and
it is, yeah.
Chris is saying he's looking forward to being able to buy a copy of the book. Thank you, Chris. We'll let you know when it's ready. I think it might just get some publicity on Facebook and Instagram here and things, so just to let people know when it is ready, because yeah, and as I say, it will be available through all the other poets that have been on the show and are included in the book as well, so it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So apart from the art fair and my regular Kingston slots every other Saturday, I haven't got any other shows coming up at the moment. We had our Blooms show recently, and that was a great success. It was really good. Oh, Chris says he hopes he can get an autographed copy. I'm sure that can be arranged. So sure we can do that for people as well if they'd like that. So just get in touch with me, folks. Might be a little bit early yet, or just get on the waiting list for a book, an autographed copy of the book. So why not? Just let me know and I can make a note of it.
Have you got any thoughts about where you're going to launch it? Or what you're going to do launch-wise?
Not yet. I really need to speak to yourself, because I know you've got some ideas about that as well. And a couple of the other poets as well, I believe, have got some ideas about launching books as well. So it's just been a really hectic time for me at the moment, trying to get lots of all sorts of things. Oh, Sammy has joined us late again. Sorry, Fiona and Markey Mark. We'll watch the beginning on replay. You're in for a real treat this week, Sammy. Again, I love all the poems by my poets, and tonight's one is just amazing. It's so much so that we had Markey Mark read it twice. Yeah, so sure you'll love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. About my small painting, very small painting here called Morning Flight, which is oils on gold leaf. So anyway, there we are. You'll see that when you watch the replay though anyway. Yeah, and so our Blooms show went really well, and thank you to anybody who's watching who came along and had a chat with all of us artists, 15 of us there. And Chris is saying it can sit alongside his Andre Rieu collection. And is there a list to put my name on to order a book? Yes, there is. I'm starting a list tonight. And Sammy says, beautiful gold leaf. Thank you, Sammy. It's I think it's a favourite of mine. So yes, we had a really good show. There were 15 artists, and our next actual show like that will be next year in April. We're only going to do the one each year now. So sorry if you missed it, anybody, but make a note in your diaries for next April and come along. You'll definitely get invites and things on Facebook and social media in due course. Oh, Sammy wants to be put on the list as well. Yay, great.
I would like to offer for them, because it's a pure art display, isn't it? I would like to offer for them, if they would like, during that time, a poet there who would do some interpretation of their work. I would be happy to mooch around and get on my laptop and do some, when things inspire, of course, and do some poems. It's possible, depending on what printer access is like, that we could print those out, or I could print them out and send them on to them later on and things like that. So I'd be quite happy to do something like that if that's something they'd like.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, I think that'd be great. Sammy, if you're listening, we need to mention that on Saturday at our Blooms meeting and see what people think about that. But that sounds to me like a fantastic idea. So thank you, Markey Mark.
That's okay.
I'll keep you posted on that one.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Sammy says, that sounds something to definitely consider. We will take it to the meeting. Definitely.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
It's
yeah.
something different, and it'd be great fun, and be great, you know, for other people to be able to meet you as well, Marky Mark. And, you to be able to see all their work as well.
Yeah, so. Well, this is it. And again, it's a different, you know, we've done a lot of this now with pictures and how it inspires and stuff like that. And so it'd be really interesting to see whether we can do that in an environment with lots of different pictures and see what comes out. And where we can take that. So that'd be really good. You know, and
amazing.
So, yeah, and as I say, we'll need to work the logistics of it a bit as to whether I do them and take them away and then send them to the people whose pictures they are, etc. And that, so that they're nicely edited, and then they can, you know, pretty much do what they want with them and that, or you know, or what we do with them. You know,
maybe you could do a book in the other direction. Mine's got my paintings and poems. Maybe yours could be your poems and their paintings, if they were happy for you to be able, you know, to use their images in that way.
Yeah. Well, what would be really good is actually have an artist at a poetry night and have the artists interpret the poems, and you know, and then go away and do their piece of art to those poems, having heard it, and then have the written text.
Gosh, we could have a whole new range of shows here at this rate. My gosh.
Well, you could. I mean, the other thing that that's possible as well is that doing slideshows in the background of, so like I've done about 6 or 8 poems for you. So if I wanted to perform those, at the moment they're actually quite out of context for people because I haven't got the pictures with them. But if you then run a slideshow at the back of them, it then brings some context to those pictures and actually makes a show of its own. You know, so there's lots of things that we can do.
Well, you know, you'd be welcome to use my images that you've poemed, our new verb that we've adopted, to do that if you'd like to do that, if they have facilities to show them in the background.
I mean, it's something that I might look at doing at a later date. I've got too much on at the moment, but it's something I will look at putting together, and then it's something that I can be doing over Zoom. I mean, it's something I can run through YouTube as well, but you do it through Zoom. But also, when I'm performing, if you've got the ability for stuff to be projected on the wall, you can have that projected whilst you're performing, and that then gives those poems a context.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
I mean, the other thing is
they feed each other.
Yeah, with your Bloom exhibition. I mean, the other thing we could do that could happen from that, and again, it depends how people want to go with it, is if I do poems, depending on how many I do, is that we then put a little chapbook together or something like that. So it may not have the pictures in, but there may be an accompanying, you know, or we have a small version of the picture and 1 or 2 poems. So it's a very small, but it has relevance to the gallery and things like that, so that then other people can pick those up and wander around with them and that, you know, and it kind of gives another element to it.
Well, we've got another comment here from Sammy. Another thing to think about, lots of combinations. Absolutely. I think we could take this and run with it for quite a way, actually. And she'd love, I'm assuming, Sammy, that you'd like Marky Mark to take a peek at your paintings. Sorry, that's being very naughty there. So, but yeah, no, that'd be lovely. Sammy does amazing abstract work.
Brilliant.
And she's got a well, to me, unique way of working in that she'll research her subject thoroughly in advance and write an essay about it, basically, for her own benefit, for creating the painting, and then you know, do some preliminary works as well and sketches and things. So, yes, says her artwork. Sorry.
Well, Sammy,
childish.
Sammy, if you want to contact me over Facebook, message me, and then we'll link up, and we can, you know, you can show me your etchings. That sounds rude for some reason, but yeah, you can show me your etchings, and we can see where we go from there.
I'm corrupting you, Marky Mark. Sorry about that.
I know it's terrible, isn't it? People will start talking soon.
That would be an idea for another poetry of painting show as well. That, you know, if you wouldn't mind writing 2 poems, Marky Mark, one about one of my paintings and one about one of Sammy's, to show a contrast, because Sammy's work's very different from mine, and how interpreting one of Sammy's paintings was so different from doing one of mine, and then have Sammy and yourself on the show.
That'd be brilliant.
To hear those and talk about it, and how similar or different things, you know, may be.
That's be really
great
good.
Idea.
Yeah.
Gosh, we're having so many ideas tonight.
I know, this is creative minds going, isn't it? This is what happens when you get creatives in a room together. It really does create some interesting.
It certainly does. I think it's getting a little bit late in the show now. Otherwise, I'd get Sammy on the show as well to join in. But I think we should do that if you're up for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Sammy says, "Oh, how exciting! Thank you. I'd love to." So I think we've got another show there in the offing.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that after the show and get something organised.
Yeah,
great fun, I think.
Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah, really looking forward to that. Yeah, okay.
That'd be great. So and Sammy's, I say, she's got completely different style from mine, and also she's got several different sort of styles as well within her work, some absolutely stunning work. So I'm sure you would find something that would inspire you and resonate with you.
I'm sure I would. I mean, it's one of these things. I probably spoke to you last time about a picture that a friend of mine sent to me of the Basilica in Krakow, and it's in black and white, a little Christmas tree in front of it, and that just hit me. It's like, wow, I've got to write about this. And actually, I haven't written about it yet, so I feel a bit guilty. But it's one of those that you look at it and you go, wow, that is a picture. You know, it just speaks to you. Yeah, it just speaks. It's in there. It's going to come out. You know, it's going to go on that page, and it's dark and it's eerie, and it's, you know, and there's storylines running through it. You can just the visual, which just gives you those storylines, you know, and you know, it's a bit dark and it's a bit cold and it's a bit, you know, and suddenly you start, you know, there's a whole story in that poetry and in that picture. And that's what I love about this stuff. It is that it conjures up images and it goes in unexpected directions. And that's what I love about it. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to
painting.
So I'm looking forward to, you know, doing a show with the three of us. That would be brilliant.
Yeah,
you know, because it'd be great. Different directions and that. Yeah. And it just, you know, as you say, with that photo of the building, you know, the Basilica, it's a bit like art as well. We just see something and it triggers something. It triggers an emotion. It triggers a reaction and ideas, and you know, you've got another painting there coming, you know, inside the head waiting to get out. So it's, you know, all of these creative pursuits are really quite similar in some ways. Oh, Rosie's saying she'll watch replay after Folk Club. Thanks, Rosie. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I know you have to get away. So that, you know, creatives get inspired by things, whether that comes out as poetry or comes out as painting or sculpture. You know, it's all quite similar, but just expressed in different ways, isn't it? So that's right. I mean, you know, we've said it time and time again, haven't we, that, you know, the interpretation is king, really, and how what you deliver to people, how they interpret it, and you know, and that's the key bit, really.
Absolutely. Well, my goodness, we've had a great show, I think, with some fantastic ideas coming out for future events that we're going to do and future shows. So that's been absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much, Markey Mark. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show again. And just so enjoyed your poem. And thank you, everybody, for watching. As I say, you know, if you have got any other comments or questions, pop them in. And if it's after the show, we'll answer them or get back to you on them as well. And Markey Mark, don't forget to put the details of your open mic sessions that are coming up, so that if anybody's in that area and can get along, it really sounds like a fun event. So, you know, put the details in there as well. And thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you again next week, UK time, 7 p.m. Another edition of the Poetry of Painting. Oh, and Chris just says, great show, brilliantly creative. Thanks so much, Chris. That's lovely. And Sammy, apologies again for missing the start. Looking forward to the replay. You'll love it, Sammy, honestly. So thanks ever so much, everybody. Thank you for watching, and see you next week. Take care. Bye, Markey Mark.
Bye.
Bye.